Okay, so we've seen how miserable the United States citizens have it with our U.S. customary conversions. Horrible numbers, need a calculator, bad fractions, improper fractions, and mixed numbers, and just nastiness. Let's go out of our country to the rest of the world. When I say the rest of the world, again, I mean the rest of the world. So everyone else uses the metric system except for potentially 3 other countries, I believe. Let's see who uses the metric system then, which is everyone else. It says in 1789, an attempt was made to standardize units of measurement internationally in order to simplify trade and commerce between nations. A commission in France developed a system of measurement known as the metric system. So one way that I can think about this is in my toolkit. When I buy toolkit, I get ratchets and I get different sizes. Some of them are marked mm, and then some of them are marked in inches. We are the reason that we need 2 toolkits. If the U.S. didn't use this measurement system, not that they didn't exist, if they didn't use this measurement system, we would only need 1 measurement system for their entire world. So when you're working on cars or any appliances or anything from around the world, you would need 1 measurement. You would need 1 system. But, well, we screwed that up, and let's get into why we should like their system better. So if I said how big's a foot, and I showed you to show me in class, and I say this all the time, I say, show me how big's a foot. And people hold up their hands and they hold it apart, and it's roughly a foot, but you guys have an idea of how big a foot is. And if I said how long is 3 feet, you'd have an idea of what it is. It might be, 1 big step away from you, but if I said 3 feet, I'm not talking about the other side of the room. You have a concept of a distance of a foot. What if I said a meter? How big's a meter? And every time I ask this in the class, I go, how big's a meter? Everyone's like, well, I don't know. Well, literally everyone else in the world does know. So maybe it's something that you should know too. A meter is their main measurement for distance, just like foot is ours. So what is a meter? Go ahead and look at one of the doors that you have near you. If you look from the handle of that door down to the ground, that is approximately a meter. So a meter is certainly bigger than a foot, but that's the length of a meter. Okay, so we talked about a pen going from 6 inches to a foot. We could have measured in miles if we wanted as well, which would have been ridiculous, but we could have. Let's go from meters to the other measurements that they have in the metric system. Well, the answer is no matter if it's distance, weight, or capacity, they use the same thing. What do I mean by same thing? It's not the same units. Length is in meters, weight is in grams, capacity is in liters, but they use the same prefixes. And what are the prefixes? The prefixes they use are kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, and milli. Kilo stands for 1,000, hecto stands for 100, deca stands for 10, like decade. Deci is 0.1, centi is 0.01, and milli is 0.001. Okay? So what do they have? They have their base unit of a meter, and then they just put on these prefixes. So for instance, a decameter, because deca means 10, a decameter is just 10 meters. A decimeter, would be 0.1 meters because it's 1/10 of a meter. That's what deci means, is 1/10, okay? So, what are their lengths or how do they measure length, distance? We do inches, feet, miles. They do meters, the end, just with a prefix or a suffix to deal with numbers. Another beautiful thing is look at the conversion factors between these. The conversion factors between these, we have to divide by 12 for inches if you're with feet, or 5280 if you go from feet to miles, 3 if you go to yards. These horrible numbers that we're dividing by. Every single time they're either multiplying or dividing by tens, which is as simple as move the decimal place to the left or to the right. So let me teach you something that I learned back when I was a kid. It's not in the book here, but let me teach you something that I learned that really helped me memorize the metric system. And it was King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Why do we care about that? That gives you all the prefixes. By here being the base unit, and the base unit in this case is meters. So that first letter gives you what it is. For instance, K, king, stands for kilo. H stands for hecto. D in died stands for deca. Okay? And you actually need a DA on that one. D in drinking stands for deci, which is just a D. C in chocolate stands for centi, and then M stands for milli. So all you do is add on the base unit to all of them. KM for kilometer, HM for hectometer, DAM for decameter, DM for decimeter, CM for centimeter, and MM for millimeter. And if you know this saying, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, this gives you every single conversion you need for metric. No calculators are necessary. No ladders, conversion ladders or tables are necessary. All you need to know is King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, and you can do every metric conversion. Let's see how. Look at this one. It says convert 42 centimeters. I'm going to start off with highlighting this. We're starting off with 4,200 centimeters, and we want to convert it to meters. So I'm going to go to my saying right here, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, right? And I'm going to start off with centimeters right here, and I need to move to meters, which is the base unit right there. So the question is, how do you go from centimeters to meters? Well, all you had to do was go 2 units to the left, right? 2 units to the left. So what do? That means all you have to do is take the decimal point, 4200.0, and you move it 2 places to the left. If I move that decimal point 2 places to the left, as you can see that they did right here, I would end up with 42 meters. And that's it. Use your saying, start with what you're given, look to which direction do you need to go to get where you want, move that many, and you're done. Let's look at the next example here. They do 32 meters to kilometers. Well, look at it. Start off with meters. How do I get to kilometers? I have to go 1, 2, 3 units to the left. So here's 32 meters. Move it 1, 2, 3 units to the left. And remember, when you move it 1, 2, to get that third one, you just need to add a 0 in there. So if there's no number there, just add a 0. Okay? It says, how would you convert 8 kilometer and 32 meters to kilometers? Well, 8 kilometers is already in kilometers, so the only thing we need to do is convert 32 meters to kilometers. Well, didn't we just do that? So here's 32 meters in kilometers. So how would you do 8 kilometers and 32 meters? Well, you do 8 kilometers plus the 0.032 kilometers, which would be 8.032 kilometers.